I've got two juicy stories for Ripple XRP fans. Heck, we'll throw a little price in at the end because we're on our way up. We got some vertical integration for Kraken. Someone went buying. Crypto linked to Trump family is down almost 50%. Will Trump save it and rally the entire market?
I say lots of naughty things, so here's your warning.
And we can all thank Jerome Powell for pumping some liquidity into the markets and making things flash green. Now all the guy has to do is give us a quarter cut. We get regs from the Senate and the House, and that's asking for a lot, isn't it? Now before we get into the juicy crypto news, why we're green on the screen, and the XRP flare stuff you need to hear about, oh yes, your comments come first. Before all that, Kevin Williams says, thanks, Klaus. It's looking like next year now. He's talking about regs until I can retire. Shout out from the Isle of Man. Ooh, a little time trial action out there, Kinzer. Yes, regs 2026. We get them. The green you see on the screen ain't shit. DIY Wellcrafts is happy Klaus. Say it ain't so. Somebody got an answer back from their Snapchat. Congrats, brother. Loving the green. No, I did not get an answer back from my Snapchat. Ladies, if you're watching, I'm one of the husbands out there that likes to send my wife naughty things. Yes, I don't just use it as a warning in the beginning of my videos. I like to send my wife naughty snaps and she never messages back. Maybe my neighbor will message back. No, she's a raging bitch, and I can't stand her. Her sister's hot, though. Bitcoin, 93,069. ETH is 3,091. Sol at 142. All XP is at 217. Look at all the deep green. Look at SWE. Up big time here. Up 22% to $1.70. XLM almost 10 cents to 25 cents. BNB floating at the 900 mark. Altcoin season, 21 out of 100. The last 90 days have been pretty painful, as by all the red that you're seeing here on the screen. Yeah, not looking so hot, is it? A few of them are in green, a little Zcash, a little bit of BNB, a little bit of Cake, Monero, BAT, Dash, but not too big. Volume blowing back on up. Why is the volume blowing back up? Because we're green, baby, and people want to get in on the green. Volume 171 billion in the last 24 hours. Now, here's one of the reasons why I think we're going to get a mega pump in the crypto market. Trump co-founded American Bitcoin Corporation stock falls 50%. You're like, bro, stock from Trump's family falling 50% is not going to rally crypto. No, but the president has some motivation to keep money flowing into his family's pockets. And he knows, just like the rest of us, that regs for the crypto market would be the biggest bullish thing for crypto. So he has a vested interest in making regs happen. American Bitcoin corporate stock price tumbled 50% on Tuesday after previously locked up shares linked to the company founded by Eric Trump became eligible for trading. Oh, pump and dump. We've done that in crypto, and now it's hitting the stock markets with crypto-related products. The stock plunged 50% within the first half hour of the session, triggering several trading halts and ultimately ending the day down 39%. The Bitcoin mining stock has been under pressure as it descended 55% in 1 month and 61% in 6 months. According to the post of the company on X, shares issued through private placement prior to their merger with Gryphon Digital were released for trading. So these were shares locked up. And then once those shares became unlocked, unrestricted, people dumped that shit. It's pumps and dumps in crypto-roni. And again, like I said, my biggest factor behind the current play right now, why I have so much conviction, why I've been buying so much lately, is because I honestly think that Trump is going to do whatever he can to make regs happen because it'll make his family a lot of money. Now, Jerome Powell and the Fed boost some liquidity, and it sends the crypto market higher. Yes, the Federal Reserve has pumped $13.5 billion into the U.S. banking system through overnight repos, marking the second largest liquidity injection since the pandemic. Whoa. Bitcoin jumped a whole bunch. Overall market cap for crypto rose a whole bunch. And guess what? This is the short-term oomph that we needed. Now, some players out there are taking these opportunities and they're buying. They're not just buying stocks and they're not just buying crypto. They're buying companies. Vertical integration, boys and girls. Kraken acquires Bakkt to vertically integrate tokenized stonks. Nice. Crypto exchange Kraken formally agreed to acquire Bakkt Finance AG on Tuesday, executing a strategic pivot to its own infrastructure behind the booming tokenized asset sector. Essentially, Kraken, right? We know Kraken, right? They're big into cryptos and all that stuff. They're like, look, we want to get into tokenized stocks. So instead of building our own platform, instead of building our own infrastructure, let's just buy someone. According to the Kraken CEO, Arjun Sethi, the unification will lead to a more transparent, reliable, and globally accessible offering for customers. He said this is bigger than giving people exposure to U.S. equities. It's about redefining what it means to own assets in the digital era. X stock surpassed $10 billion in exchange and on-chain volume within 6 months of its debut. Holy shit. The tokens operate on Sol and ETH, and now Kraken wants to push into the new territories and make more money off of it. Vertical integration. Oh, by the way, there's more details to this story. If you're into stuff like this, vertical integration, if you're a Kraken fan, guess what? This and all the other articles, they're linked to everyone in the description below. And happy hump day, everyone. I'm afraid if I send another text to my wife or another video or another picture of me touching my gun, just throwing it out there, that she's not going to respond back. Sometimes you just got to play by yourself. Firelight launches XRP staking protocol on Flare. Golf clap. With ST, XRP plan to earn rewards through DeFi insurance. Yes, like it. We want staking, we want rewards, we want yield. Why? Because that would put more people into crypto. Because not just would you have crypto parked somewhere earning nothing, you would have your crypto parked somewhere earning money. The launch represents phase 1 of the rollout. Users can bridge XRP to Flare through the F asset system, deposit FXRP, and then receive STXRP on a one-to-one basis. Nice. But staking rewards are not active yet. Firelight expects the rewards to begin in phase 2, planned for early 2026. Firelight's design borrows the idea behind restaking, reusing crypto assets to secure applications, but it applies it differently. Firelight keeps the key concept of restaking, that you can reuse capital to bootstrap security but change how it's applied. We focus on the assets with the structurally lower cost of capital like XRP instead of trying to outcompete ETH DeFi yields. I like it. Do you like this kind of stuff? Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse says people are starting to recognize stablecoins. That's fucking great, Brad, but we want you, Ripple, and people to start recognizing XRP more. Let's hear what Brad has to say. The event features industry heavyweights. They're talking about Binance's blockchain week in Dubai. Garlinghouse highlighted that stablecoins are gaining recognition because they got the regs. People are starting to recognize that stablecoins really are stable and much easier to manage and move, especially in this region. Oh, these comments come from Ripple CEO after RLUSD ensured a significant milestone in UAE because there was a little bit of partnership action with that. So again, Ripple out here pumping RLUSD. Why? It makes them a shit ton of money. Companies out there love to sell and pimp products that make them a shit ton of money. RLUSD makes Ripple a ton of money. A ton. We learned that USDT Tether, right, makes what? 99% profit? That's the margin on that product? That's insane. Where else do you get 99% margins? That's juicy stuff. So Brad is super excited that stables are rolling because stables are big for Ripple. Now XRP's price is rolling. I've got the 24-hour chart up on the screen. Volume's up 22% to $4.75 billion. We did get a little north of 220 on this move, but the market was like, yo, girlfriend, we ain't ready yet. And what do you notice about that? That lines up with the price where we were right before this last nasty pullback, right? We were floating around 220 at the end of November. We dropped way down here to sub $2 at the beginning of December. Look, we reached that same mark. We reached that same 220 action, 221 action that we did right here, and we got pushed down. So the move is early, and that's what I'm going to be doing today. My thing today is all about this. Are we going to see this move break and sustain the break north of 220 where we saw it happen before the market took a poop? By the way, this is the 1 hour chart that I got up on the screen. And what do you notice here? Yeah, that poop segment, that's the hurdle we got to get through. Now, have we seen some aggressive buying? Yes, we have. We've seen some aggressive buying with some aggressive volume with XRP. People are gobbling it up on those dips. I'm personally stacking HBAR right now. My other bags are pretty heavily packed. So now I'm focusing on HBAR where I've been, what? Yeah, I didn't have a chance to do it because there's other things I was focusing on. Now I can rotate and focus into that. But XRP is moving. And this move right here is showing us that the market wants more. The market wants to move up. The market wants the juice. Yes, we have negative macros out there, which are stopping us from really squeezing the juice. But with the Fed injecting liquidity, helping BTC and ETH come deeper into the green, well, it's helping the alts. Regs, though, would majorly help out the alts. And with Trump's family having a lot of crypto exposure, World Liberty Financial, their BTC mining stuff, regs would help out their family. And doesn't it make sense that Trump would do whatever is best for his family? And considering he's president, he probably has a lot of power to do so. That's right. And if he does, it's going to send XRP roaring. So for me, this whole play is all about regs and macros getting better. But right now, we're at 217, which means what? Which means we're sending Snapchats to XRP. We're in the friend zone. We're trying to get her to bite. We're like, hey, take a little picture. No. Friend zone price action right now. But it's better than the sub $2. No, it's not sub $2 we can buy. Friend zone sucks. Let's move into the juice zone or go back into the buy zone. A little bit of iced guade coffee to get us through the day. Because I got some big things to do, and so does Flair. Earning staking, earning yield. That's what we want in crypto. A lot of people, all right, and this is why the banks are fighting this, okay? A lot of people park money into banks, and you park your money into banks, you get what, 1%, 2%, 3%, 4%, depending on the product, right? So you have an incentive for putting your money with the banks because you're earning on that, right? You're earning some interest on that. But with crypto, right, you buy it at the exchange, you leave it at the exchange, you don't get shit for it. So would you imagine how much more money would flow into crypto if we actually got staking and yield across the lines? Yeah. Imagine how many more people would be willing to park all that money into crypto versus banks. And that's why the banks are fighting this, because the banks know as soon as crypto gets staking, as soon as there's yield across the board, because remember, the SEC is still kind of about this stuff. And without having regs, we're still kind of, flying blind, right? Because the next president could shoot all this stuff down. So if we get the regs, imagine the number of people that would pull their money out of bank accounts and would put it into crypto accounts because they would be getting yield that way. That's the juice. So regs are huge to this move. And I personally think that regs are going to be something that Trump pushes for heavily. Yes, now it's given us some time to buy. ETH under 3 was juicy. H-bar under 14, juicy. These are all my opinions. BTC under 90,000, juicy. I even bought some of that. Why? Because the family is big into crypto. And Trump does whatever's best for his family. So guess what? That means, most likely regs for crypto. And that's what I'm banking on. But the Senate has to help us out. We have to avoid a shutdown to get there. But we got good news in the meantime. It's friend zone price action for a lot of these things out there, but it's better than the shit zone. Well, no, if you have dry powder, the shit zone is great. If you don't have dry powder, the shit zone is like nerve-wracking. But we're starting to come back up. And the volume, it's starting to tell us things. It's starting to tell us that the market wants the reg. The market wants the conditions to improve. The market wants not just AI speculation, but it wants crypto usage and AI profitability. Because if we can also clear that hurdle of the AI bubble, which has everyone freaked out, well, then a lot of people are going to feel pretty comfortable putting their money into cryptos. Yeah, because there's AI-based cryptos. And that's been a big vacuum to the crypto bubble. So, got a few things to keep our eyes paying attention to. Remember, we got rate cuts in like a week. Jerome Powell and the Fed, that's the 10th of December. We'll be live streaming it, so make sure you hit that notification bell and subscribe button so you don't miss out. Drop me a comment. Maybe I'll share it at the beginning of the next video. I did get a new site for one of my pew-pews. Just throwing it out there. Merry Christmas, Klaus. Choo-choo, what? Well, you know the deal, lemon peel. We say it at the end of every video. Oh, you don't know? Well, there's a sign flashing behind me the entire video, which should kind of give you a hint. Choo-choo what? Choo-choo socks? No. Choo-choo remote control? No. Choo-choo cough drops? No, not today. Choo-choo spare Oakley glasses? No. Sorry, wrong there too. It's choo-choo bitches.